They have a peaceful and enabling environment for period so far. They have been very on ground doing their job effectively.
SP Enrique Coco, while condemning the act of extortion by some officers and guard, urged residents to reach out to the command's control number and report such activities.
Any officer saying found wanting, that they should call our control numbers, which have already by CP displayed. If you see any officer that is going contrary to the directives of the commissioner of police, they should call. Our numbers are free, and we're not sharing of it because the city did not send them to go there to commit any or to go out there to extort from members of the public. We have our in-house disciplinary measures in dealing with such officers.
She also assured that the command will continue to discharge their duties equitably to ensure a safe environment for all residents. In another development, a security expert, Ali Tanimu, says hiring a security guard requires the service of a certified security company and not neighbors and relatives. Mr. Tanimu, retired SS personnel, said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka while reacting to the killing of a woman by her former security guard in Port Harcourt. He said the employers exposed themselves to risk by engaging the services of security guards through recommendations from relatives and friends instead of a security company.
Well, this very problem is a very huge problem here in Nigeria. In advanced countries, we have institutions, in fact, even private institutions, that set themselves up to become intermediary to provide this kind of service. So what they do is they do the basic investigation, what we call vetting, and train them up and come to them to hire them. But here, anybody can come from any other place, and because they pay from the clients is not too good, the people will not want to go to the company because of the company may pay them more and will likely go to do a kind of private arrangement. If you go to and establish a registered private company, the risk will be shared. If something happens, first person you hold responsible is the security company, because according to their act, they share part of the responsibility.
Mr. Tinimu also said the certified security company also serves as guarantor in case of any criminal offense.
Every security personnel from a company is expected to have been vetted, and the security company that is giving that person is supposed to serve as a guarantor to vouch for the integrity of the person they are giving out. And they involved in recruiting people for most security companies as a consultant. And before we recruit them, we also ask them to bring their guarantors. So when issues happen, you go through this very chain, bring the guarantors into the picture before even the prosecution. You don't just carry the person straight and go.
Yesterday, the police said they are investigating the killing of the former director of administration at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Boma Amamu Jumbo, by her former security guard. The suspect has been arrested. And moving on, 4 suspects have been arrested for illegal dealings in petroleum products in Rivers State. The suspects were arrested from different locations by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in the state. In a statement, the NSCDC Rivers State Commandant, Michael Oga, commended the anti-vandal land patrol team for the arrest of 3 suspects named Amadi Goodluck, Odogu Shedrack, and Ovunda Emmanuel. He said they were arrested in a black Sequoia Jeep at Obeleba Road in Emoha local government area of Rivers State while conveying 1,250 litres of crude oil concealed in cellophane bags. Another suspect named Chibuike Alamezie, 36 years of age, was also arrested while conveying about 10 kegs of diesel, being 25 litres each, in a black Toyota Camry vehicle along Trans Amadi Industrial Area in Port Harcourt. The statement said a white Mitsubishi L300 model bus was also impounded while conveying about 1,000 litres of crude oil, but the suspects ran away on citing NSCDC personnel. Away from that, the rift between the PDP and 5 governors known as the G5 appears unresolved as the aggrieved governors were conspicuously absent at a meeting of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar with current and soon-to-be inaugurated governors. Those absent are Governors Nyesom Wike, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Samuel Otom of Benue State, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, all of the G5 group. Mr. Atiku, in a tweet today, congratulated the outgoing governors for having flown the PDP flag high with pride. He urged the incoming ones to set the pace for good governance in their respective states. In other news, APC's aspirants for the Senate presidency are kicking against the zoning formula released by the party. Speaking during a meeting with the National Working Committee of the APC in Abuja on Thursday, Senator Musa, representing Niger East, said the party should have consulted them before coming up with such a list.
We were hearing it as a rumors, not until my brother came on air, and that gave us a blow. And we feel, are we really part of this country? Because even if you are talking of from the northern perspective, we have always been the victims, not central. And when you look at the permutation, if you are looking about reward, every democracy comes with its reward. And you talk of building a coalition that will be strong.
Addressing the senators, the APC national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, promised that the party will look into their grievances and get back to them.
We had no sufficient or adequate consultation with you who are contesting, who have shown interest to contest, and it is simple primary principle of democracy that you consult and get the opinion, the views of people as much as possible. But the circumstances that we found ourselves in after the elections frustrated our desire to have time to consult. We owe ourselves, we owe our party that duty to take a look. Yes, what we've done is right, we're not changing nothing, for instance. Or yes, what we've done needs some changes or review. We will take a look at what the circumstances will compel us to do, and we will do it by the grace of God.
The meeting took place 24 hours after angry contestants for the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives stormed the National Secretariat to query the decision by the APC and the President-elect Bola Tinubu. The development followed the rejection of the party's adoption of a former minority Senate leader and ex-Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, for the position of Senate President in the 10th National Assembly. Still on this, in spite of the APC's choice of Senator Godswill Akpabio for the position of Senate President, Senate-elect Etang Williams is insisting that he will support any candidate that has the interests of his state at heart. The senator-elect, who is currently the Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, tells correspondent Onyeka Chinwosu that the party should allow lawmakers to choose their leaders.
I'm not a member of the NWC. They have their reasons. They say they've done their consultations. For me, I can speak for myself, which is whatever the party decision is known to us. But I view and also look at the candidates by what they present to me, what I've heard them say. And when I ask them questions, you must talk to me, you must have a conversation with me for me to be able to append and say, no, I'm voting for this candidate. Because as you come to me, I talk about my faith. Whatever you have for my faith, put it on this table. Let's discuss and know. So if you have the interest of my faith and my people, I go with you. Let the politics continue so that you are not appointing people as forming an executive council. It should come from us.
Still ahead of the news this afternoon, WHO says monkeypox no longer a public health emergency. To stay tuned. Welcome back. The Supreme Court has fixed hearing for September. It was wrongly rendition Mr. Kanu has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to free the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. President General Emmanuel Iwanyanwu asked President Buhari to ensure Kanu's release before May 29 as a parting gift to the Southeast. The World Health Organization WHO says Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, is no longer a public health emergency. Recall that in July 2000, the body declared the disease a public health emergency and threat of countries. In business news, Nigeria has been knocked off as Africa's top crude oil producer by Angola. This was revealed in the direct communication data of April 2023 monthly oil market report released by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Nigeria recorded its lowest production rate in 2023 with 999,000 barrels per day in April. Angola recorded 1.06 million barrels per day of crude production in April 2023. Crude oil output increased mainly in Saudi Arabia, Angola and Iran, while production in Iraq and Nigeria declined. Entertainment news, South Africa model and Miss Universe 2019 Zozibini Tunzi has been confirmed as one of the co-hosts of this year's ceremony. She joins Nigerian media personality Ike Osagudua, who returns for the ninth time to host the prestigious awards. Sporting news, Nigeria's Golden Eagles crashed out of the Under-17 AFCON 2023 after falling 2-1 to fellow West Africans Burkina Faso in the quarterfinals in Algiers. The result meant the Golden Eagles will not feature in the Under-17 World Cup that will take place later this year.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
After nearly a week of talks, Sudan's warring parties have signed a deal to alleviate the suffering of the civilian population, but have made little progress towards peace. This is a first step to providing relief for trapped civilians. They agree to allow safe passage for people who live in battle zones, protect relief workers, and not to use civilians as human shields. However, they did not agree to pause the fighting. There are reports of more airstrikes and shelling in the capital, Khartoum, today. And that does it here on the news this afternoon. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Earlier on, you heard the police have deployed personnel to strategic points in the state to combat insecurity. NSCDC has arrested some suspected oil thieves and they've impounded thousands of litres of crude oil in Rivers State. We told you Governor Wike and other G5 members were absent as the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar met incoming and outgoing PDP governors. APC's aspirants for Senate presidency are demanding for a fresh zoning formula. And from the foreign team, we told you Sudan warring sides have signed a deal to protect civilians. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Do remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Carl Orakwe. Goodbye.